Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to another episode of Neva. We're going to be progressing through the other half of this chapter, I guess, and we'll see what we can find. I figure what I'll talk about this episode is I'm going to talk about the Switch 2 Direct a little bit more, because certainly that's something I'm very excited about. Realistically speaking, I know full well that I am not going to be buying the Switch 2 immediately. I feel like I'd rather wait to see what its library becomes a little bit. I want to have a little time to see how the system cooks, see how it performs, and let Nintendo see their, I guess, live testing with the public before I fully commit to something. And that's always how I've been with games and consoles especially. Not to mention the fact that, oh, I thought that would work. Cool. Now, does this actually do anything? I guess it lets us get up to where Neva is, but... Okay, I think I have to jump this way, perhaps. Anyway, that's always how I've been with consoles. The only console I think I've ever bought, quote-unquote, on release... I don't actually know if I have one. Maybe the DS. The DS probably, just because I was so locked into handheld gaming back then. But I don't even remember if that's the case. And certainly right now, I have such a huge backlog of games that I want to play that I don't terribly mind waiting a bit. But if I were kind of thinking out loud of the games that I am excited for, I am a little disappointed that we didn't get a major like 3D Mario. Oh no, there are two of these now. That's not good. Try and take one out before I take hold on. I'll try and take one out before I have to deal with the second. There we go. I am one hit from death, so I need to be careful about that. But their attacks are so well telegraphed. Anyway, so Neva. Unfortunate, not a strong start. But anyway, so I am a little disappointed that they didn't show any major title releases or announcements for Mario or Zelda, because I think those are after Breath of the Wild being kind of a launch title for the Switch and how strong that was of a game, and then Mario Odyssey coming out not too much long into the Switch's lifetime either. I do kind of... I was hoping for something like that to show up. That said, again, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks extremely solid, and I'm actually kind of excited to play that when it comes out, having no real major lingering memories of any Donkey Kong experience in reality. And I think part of it is because a lot of the Donkey Kong games are 2D platformers, and I've never been terribly drawn to 2D platformers. Also, this fight proves that, unfortunately, that creature being on that outer platform might have killed it, but that was just kind of an unfortunate series of events. Alright. I wonder what these flowers are supposed to represent, because we keep activating them with Neva's Howl, and they give us the ability to progress with those little square structures that are very reminiscent of the power-up blocks from Greece. Anyway. So yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza, honestly genuinely excited to play that. It looks very fun based on the trailer. I mean, obviously we'll see how the game is, but that's the thing about Nintendo. Unlike a lot of other publishers, I tend to find a degree of consistency in Nintendo's at least first party games most of the time. I know I'm in for at least a polished, relatively fun, or at least solid experience. Honestly, the only series where I feel like that hasn't been the case recently is Pokemon, and that's not to say the Pokemon games are bad. Like, Scarlet and Violet has a lot of positives. I didn't feel motivated to play it because of how poorly optimized it looked, I guess. And that's a me problem. Like, I have seen the reviews. I know a lot of people had a lot of fun with those games. I discovered Cassette Beasts at the time, and that was the single best Pokemon experience I've had in a very long time. Honestly, I'm probably more interested in playing a modded Pokemon game. I've been looking at a couple of them. I'm forgetting the names, but Infinite Fusions is way up there on my list of this sounds like a really fun experience for me and for Kiwi to potentially watch at some point. But I was looking up at other mods. I just don't have a good memory of what those mods' names were. Mentoring. Soothe Neva in Fall Part 2. Okay. That was our achievement that just popped. Looks like things are getting a lot prettier as we ascend back up out of this darkness. This looks like, I guess, a healing tower. May as well tag that. It's at least a checkpoint. Looks like we can go to the left and the right. Oh, there's a flower over here. Okay, we definitely want to go this way then. Let's see. How can I get over there? That's... Oh. Goodbye. At the very least, this checkpoint should heal us. The question is, how can I tag this? I can't jump over this. Can I fall? Doesn't look like I can willingly fall without jumping off, so let's try that. I could possibly make it. It also might just be I didn't... No, okay. Definitely can't make that. So I think maybe it's I drop off this ledge over here and then fall down into it. At least I don't have to worry about fall damage adding up because I can heal like that. I've got to be ready to... Oop, got it, nice. Okay, so this is what we have to do twice. We have to do it twice. The timing is a little bit tight. There we go. Okay, figured it out. Nifty. So yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza definitely up there. I am really excited that we're gonna get an HD remastering of both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Like I've for a while been planning on doing both of those games on this channel at some point or another, and I was very much close to starting Breath of the Wild at some point more recently. But with the announcement of the HD remaster, I'm probably going to hold out till then, because I still have a whole bunch of other games I want to play. Nine Souls is really up there. Aegis Rim. What do we got here? Press X to activate Totem. So yeah, Aegis Rim, Spiritfarer, To the Moon, Nine Souls. Those are the games that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm most interested in playing on the channel at this stage. And then there are just a couple other games here or there that certainly strike a chord with me that I feel like I would enjoy. So this one looks like a timing-based sort of situation where I activate that tower. Interesting music. Yeah, it looks like we kind of have to ascend this tower as it's assembling sort of thing. Hopefully we have enough time to do so and that I can do this. There we go. I think that should about cover it. There we go. I like how they used the music to kind of demonstrate the timing on that was running out. Alright, looks like we're climbing a very dark but still colored tree, at least based on its leaves. It could be kind of on the verge of death based on its kind of... the leaves are falling off, the colors are dimming. There's an emphasis on that mountain in the background. I imagine we're going to be traveling there at some point, and I still hold to my suspicion that it's going to be spewing some sort of corruption by the end of it, like a volcano. We'll see. Ooh, cutscene. Okay, I'll be quiet. Interesting that that creature's holding a sword too. All right, we are in a on the rails kind of run away, run for your life sort of situation. Okay. Ooh, listen to that music. They've definitely got the tension going. I think Neva's showing us where to go. Yeah, okay, perfect. Anyway, well, while we're climbing, I suppose, what else can I say? So, like I said, I have a lot of games that I still want to play on the channel, and there are going to be games that are on a whim. I mean, since I did Signalis for Halloween last time, I will probably do... I'm inclined to think I'm going to do Subnautica for Halloween or Alien Isolation for Halloween this year. Those are both games that Kiwi has certainly watched me play and get absolutely just terrified by. So, Signalis, she had so much fun watching the jump scare compilation. I was very happy I made that because, well, I think it's been proven. Didn't I get jump scared in this series too? Like, I am so comedically easy to jump scare, it's kind of pathetic. And Kiwi has jump scared me simply by waiting behind doors while I was in the bathroom and that sort of thing, so certainly she is well aware and takes advantage of that notion that I am easy to jump scare. So, lots of fun games in the future. Let's focus back on the Switch Direct now, I guess. So, what else is there that I saw that I was excited about? Honestly, well, Duskblood, I remember I was watching the trailer, and it was just, at first I'm like, is this a Devil May Cry trailer? Because the guy sitting in the chair looks like Dante to me, and I've never played a Devil May Cry series game, so I was just thinking, okay, the establishment. Finished fall part 1. We definitely fell, that's for sure. Anyway, so the, and then as soon as you get like this kind of old or English accented woman weirdly caressing this dude's unconscious hand while and then says one word about blood, I'm like, Bloodborne 2, Bloodborne 2, Bloodborne 2, Bloodborne 2, Bloodborne sequel, let's go. And then it's like the most legally distinct Bloodborne sequel ever, which I just found very funny. Can I get up here? I think if I probably platform like this, yeah, this should work. I found a secret memory flower. Now, hopefully there isn't any, like, secret platforming I have to do here. It doesn't appear that it is. There we go. Cool, got it. Like I said before, the more of these I collect, the better. I believe this game has a secret ending, but I don't know for sure. I tried to look it up just to, like, be like, how mindful should I be about collecting? And then I decided I'm going to taint the experience if I go from a completionist standpoint at the outset of the game. And figure I'll do, like I said, I'll do what I did with Grease. I'll do a natural playthrough at start, and then I'll hunt for things in completionist mode if I so desire at the end in a separate video, similar to what I did with Grease. Anyway, so what else is there? What else was there? I don't know. I just, like, I'm curious about Duskblood. Also, that FromSoft is getting a Nintendo Switch exclusive, for that matter. A shame that Bloodborne is kind of locked in Sony jail, I guess, because it is, again, one of my favorite FromSoft titles. What else? I'm trying to think. I mean, the game chat and communication features that this game have, or has, or that the console has, novel enough. Oh, yep. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. May you rest in peace, little boar. I don't know if I should call you little, but yeah, but let's have a hug. Nope. Okay. Remember, Kiwi, I gotta pet the dog or hug the dog at least once per episode. I think we already got it actually, but I'll make sure to hug Neva when I can. I wonder if we will get an ability to interact with these flowers and revert their corrupting effect. I think I called it. This boar is gonna come back to one of these boars is gonna come back to life, and we're gonna have to fight it, I imagine. Hey there, bud. You blocking our way? Neva? What you upset about? Alright, there's clearly something to interact with here, but I can't quite figure out what that is. Hello? Like, Neva seems to be upset about the boar. But I don't have an obvious way of interacting with it. I see this guy, but I think they're in the foreground, actually, and I can't seem to hit them. Oh, I just needed to hug Neva. Okay, there we go. Neva realizes now it is fake dead boar. Ooh, new enemy type. Legless crawlers. Creepy. Very creepy. Realistically speaking, I probably don't actually have to fight these. There's no, like, reward for defeating them besides progression. And it didn't appear like those were actually blocking our progression. And again, that's something I have to emphasize the notion of, is that these things aren't always aggressive to us, which is weird. I wonder if we, like, sometimes they are obviously very aggressive to us, like, there it is. I called it. I knew they were going to possess the boar, which makes me all the more think that we're going to be fighting Mamba at some point. Alright, so basically what they've established here is we need to evade the bull and then attack its core. Another pet for Neva. I do wonder if we are some sort of, like, other aspect of death. Like, one is the, like, the corruption is kind of, like, my best example of this would be thinking about Kindred from League of Legends, and it's not quite a one-to-one parallel, but the corruption can represent the chaotic and unpredictable and consuming nature of death, whereas we are the, like, peaceful, restful, more beautiful aspects of it. Again, I think for some people it's hard to see the beauty in death, but death is as much a part of life as anything else is, and it sometimes is unfortunately the best way we have to connect to people that we haven't been with in a long time. It forces us, it makes us have to think about what we have done together, what our interactions together have been. And all right, looks like this thing functions on a time limit, so I've got to be quick if I want to use it. This almost looks like the lotuses that we've been reactivating, but just upside down, interestingly enough. I wonder if that's intentional or completely unrelated. I mean, the art style is likely related. Another question I have is, we have this boar on the ground here. Do these things possess the boar if they get close? I wonder if that's the case and we just need to try and play keep away here. Which is very much more easily said than done. Honestly, I want to confirm this. Let's see if we can let this guy get to the boar. I want to see. Yeah, I was right. Okay, interesting. So that's how they're going to make those enemies work. At the very least, we established that I can't damage the boar, but I can damage the creatures possessing it when they are exposed. Now, once again, can we return this to peace? I think we can. All right. I like that. Let's see. So, So yeah, the game chat, the voice chat functions that the Switch 2 are going to have with the new function. My goodness, when people had the, leaks about the C button, they were going nuts with, like, what could this be? What could this be? And, I don't know, game chat, I feel like I could enjoy it, but I'm skeptical if I'll ever use it, frankly. I do very much appreciate that Nintendo is doing a year, effectively just shy of a year's ability for people to try out the functionality before it becomes a paid feature locked behind NSO specifically. I mean, NSO is the payment. It's not like a separate cost sort of thing. Hello, friends in trees, or not friends in trees. Are we going to be fighting? No, it doesn't appear so. We'll just continue to move along then. Yeah, look, it's definitely those lotusy type plants. Oh, somehow I didn't notice those butterfly creatures. Well, Neva, can you heal us? No, but we can pet you. Okay, I've got to be careful here because I am one hit from death in typical fashion. Interesting, that one affected multiple flowers at once. I mean, we did get a sense that in the previous section, the corruption did affect, for example, the thorns were kind of spread all over the place, and destroying one face would block out all the thorns. So it does seem like they're weirdly connected with their environment to some degree. Thank you, Neva. Were you trying to warn me about that creature? Because you have also warned me about gravity, because I kind of apparently forgot that's a thing to be nervous about. Oops. Yeah, it's just, I think the main issue is I don't have NSO presently, and I'm mulling over the idea of getting it. You know what got me most excited with the NSO in particular? Actually, honestly, it was the thing I was most excited about, because I've talked about it on this channel. Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon Gale of Darkness are getting released onto, Oh, interesting. These birds are like dying and frozen in time. They don't obviously have the flowers on them. That one all the way to the left is like split in half. Huh. Well, we'll have to see what these do. I wonder if there are going to be more bodies for these little crawlers to potentially possess. Oh, well, this is... I don't like this. Yep, I called it. Okay, so there is such a high possibility that Mamba is going to be, like, one of the enemies we have to fight, and that's going to feel really lame. I'm going to feel bad for Neva when that happens, inevitably. Alright, just gotta keep these crawlers from getting to the bodies and we should be fine, and then Neva will probably make it so we can resurrect them, or, like, well, lay them to rest, I guess is how I would refer to it. Yeah, there we go. But, I don't know, I have such a strong nostalgia for Pokemon XD and Pokemon Colosseum in particular. Maybe a rose-tinted nostalgia, mind you, because I definitely also remember some of the, more frustrating sections or slower sections of Colosseum in particular. I don't remember XD nearly as well, but I've lumped those games together, and I do love the idea of, like, stealing your opponent's Pokemon, like, not necessarily being the good guy. Like, we were the main character of Colosseum, at least, used to be a member of the bad guys team, which I think is cool. It doesn't feel like that pretty quickly into the game, but still. But, oh my goodness, there are a lot of enemies here. Hopefully Neva comes to join us shortly, because I might need some... There we are, perfect. I need someone to cover my flank while I'm DPSing these creatures. I do wonder if how many of these sections are skippable. Because it doesn't look like this one is skippable. Oh no. They're grouping together. Okay. That's a bigger boar than the last one, isn't it? Well, our ability to dodge is all the same. Never mind it, because it's bigger, I guess it's a little bit harder to fully dodge. And unfortunately, we can only get 3 hits on it, which means I need to... The timing on this dodge is very tight. Oh man, I am 1 hit from death. Yeah, I get clipped by the legs. I wonder if there's a better way to dodge that than what I'm doing. Oh well. Thankfully, the failstate of this game is a very quick recovery. We don't stay away. We don't lose our progression very significantly, so... Anyway, what else is there? So yeah, NSO starting to finally get GameCube games I'm very happy about, because for me, I don't have a lot of nostalgia linked to the early pantheon of Nintendo. I haven't played a lot in the way of like NES, SNES, even N64 games for that matter. But GameCube was when I really started to like get deep into Nintendo. I'm pretty sure the reason I got a GameCube in the first place was because of Sonic Adventure 2. I was so interested in that game. I had played it at a friend's house. I helped them beat BioLizard, which was like apparently really difficult as a kid, which makes sense, I suppose. Yeah, like the running animation, sometimes the hind legs are moving forward and sometimes they're kicking backwards, and I get clipped on the kicking backwards section. There must be a better way to deal with this, and I haven't figured out what that is. Because I can sometimes get away with the dodge without any punishment. Is there any platform to jump on here? It doesn't appear to be. Oh well. At the very least, I've proven that I can dash past it. Maybe what I need to do is chase after it and then dash when it's doing its turning axis, because it's kind of a narrower hit frame. I don't know. I'm not convinced that's the answer here. And since I only get three hits in, maybe I'm just dashing too late is the problem. I don't think I have any other options for iframes. Maybe if I double jump. Yeah, okay, if I take it higher, I can probably the hind legs won't be able to hit me if I'm too high, if I'm higher. That'll work. There we go. Unfortunately, I figured it out a little too late either way. We beat the boss regardless. Neva, can you lay this one to rest? Doesn't appear to be the case. Maybe? No, doesn't seem it. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, their launch title for the GameCube NSO, unless they've already been releasing GameCube games and I just haven't been privy to it, is Wind Waker. And Wind Waker was my first ever Legend of Zelda game, believe it or not. We're in a bad spot. Oh. Ooh, I don't like that. Just being dragged by your mouth. Can I mash? I must have been missing something, because that should have been avoidable, I imagine. Alright. I'll just mash all the buttons and see what happens. Can you hear me aggressively mashing in the background, Kiwi? Press RB. Oh! Oh, we can send Neva out to attack now. That's awesome. I didn't actually know we could do that. Okay. So I guess we've gotten a new ability. Something tells me that must have been telegraphed before and I just missed it. Press RB and aim with left. Okay. Interesting. Something tells me that was not a function we had before. It does cancel our aerial momentum. I wonder if I can use that as some sort of weird, like, platforming trick. Probably if there's like a platform that's moving and I'm waiting for it to come lower and I jump too early, I can use that to stall my fall and get onto it. It's funny, it's meant to be an attack primarily, but I'm still like looking at it in the form of a combat mechanic, a combat-centric mechanic, or rather a platforming-centric mechanic. So I would argue that the core of this game is platforming. But a nice little function. I appreciate it, and I don't know. There's something very satisfying about sending out that projectile. That projectile being our dog, I guess. Hey, it's a giant lettuce or cabbage. We've had one of those before, Kiwi. They were fun. Is there nothing we can do here? Goodbye, Neva. To infinity and beyond. All right, I actually really like this mechanic. I'm gonna have fun playing with it. Not that I'm necessarily I wonder if it's gonna punish us eventually for relying on Neva for combat too much. Darn it, it got to the bird. It is interesting too to see like these bodies that are being possessed by the corruption. They look like they're almost in pain, or they're certainly not willing participants in the interaction. Neva seems content on staying with this bird, so maybe we can lay it to rest. There we go. Weird that we couldn't do it with the bull. I guess there are only certain things we can do this with. But it is very nice to see how like our interactions with Neva here are bringing back life to the world to some degree. Again, I wonder if this is going to be some weird representation of the cycle of life and death. We will see. We will see, or maybe we won't. I feel like Greece's interpretation was a lot more clear-cut to me than this one is. Unfortunately, like I was hopeful I could look at this game and be like constantly analyzing and making sense of what's going on, and it just doesn't feel like I can nearly as well. Not to say it's detracting from my experience. Like as simple as the mechanics are, I'm quite enjoying them. I saw that one in the corner going for the birds. Oh, that one is too. Neva, get it. Good girl. I don't think I can get up there, so Neva, that one's all yours. Heck her up. Or heck it up, rather. So yeah, Wind Waker. Wind Waker was my first ever Legend of Zelda game, actually. I never beat it. Like, I have a very... effectively what happened was in undergrad, I had a dorm room of friends that I would constantly hang out in. And they had a GameCube set up in there, as well as a PlayStation, I think, but I don't... Maybe I'm mistaken about that. Most certainly, though, we had a large quantity of GameCube games to choose from. And I used it as my excuse to say, well, Wind Waker's animations look very my kind of cup of tea. I love like, it may be cartoonish, a cartoonish aesthetic overall, but for me, it worked really well. Okay, I see how to do this. So what I need to do is I need to stall my fall with Neva. Exactly what I was describing before, actually, I think. So if I fall off of this lotus to our left, dash, jump, Neva to stall, there we go. Excellent. Okay. I do appreciate that they came up with a mechanic that also functions for both combat and platforming. Anyway, so yeah, Wind Waker was like right on the top of my list for games I wanted to try back then, and try it I sure did. I got up until the point where I feel like is a very reasonable falling off point for a lot of first-comers to the game, and that is when you have to go around and collect the treasure maps to find the Triforce pieces, or it may have been just that, collecting the Triforce pieces. Either way, basically, you have to buy maps from a character who's kind of a merchant-y sort of character. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize if I am. I have not played this game in, oh my goodness, over 10 years now that I think about it. Maybe I will play it again, honestly, when it comes out on NSO. And I have a Switch to play it with too, mind you. I do wonder if some of the GameCube games will be accessible from the Switch. I sure hope so. There's no reason they can't be, other than just gatekeeping for people to make people want to buy the Switch too. But things are getting a lot more ominous around these parts. Ugh. Kind of almost looks like toxic pollen. Anyway, so yeah, that's about where I fell off, but I had a genuinely good time playing it otherwise. I have a very fond memory, and I'll end the episode after this fond memory of a friend who, on that GameCube, played Resident Evil 4 for the first time, or saw it for the first time, and he strongly... So there's a big lake, and you're going out on this lake on a boat, and there's a giant salamander that lives in that lake, and this friend was dead set on this being a giant aquatic squirrel. And I remember sleeping over at my friend's dorm that night after having this friend constantly say, I don't know what you're talking about. It is a giant salamander. And the friend, this other friend was just like so very sick of the nonsense. And it's like, it's not a fruit-eating squirrel. And I remember having slept over at their dorm that night. I had to wake these guys up for class in the morning because they were sleeping in by accident. I guess they slept through their alarm. And I apparently this friend of mine, this other friend of mine, not the one who thought it was a squirrel, the one who knew it was a salamander, was like, is a sleep talker. And I just hear him, right before I wake him up, I just hear him saying, not a fucking squirrel, in his sleep. And I died of laughter at that moment. It was so funny. I briefly forgot how to pet the dog, and that is not a good thing to forget. That is a very core skill for survival in this world. In Neva's world, but also just in real life world, I mean. Alright, Kiwi, well, we have rescued another giant boar. With all that said, I hope you are sleeping well, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. I love you, and I will see you in the next one for some more Neva. Let's see where this story takes us, and I'll keep rambling about Switch 2, I suppose. See you then.